We're good? Call to order the redevelopment special meeting for December 22nd. I'd like to call to order the special redevelopment commission meeting. I'm sorry. This is yours, Mike.
I'd like to call to order the December 22nd, 2021 redevelopment committee meeting. Roll call vote, please.
Mike Aurelio.
Here.
Brian Blazak. Wayne Pondinas.
Present.
Gerald Swets.
Present.
Michael Schilling.
Here.
Chris Salatis.
Present.
Dave Westland.
Present.
Beth Hernandez present, and Cindy Seuss, ex officio member for Lake Central's present. James Sakalaris is not present.
Any public comment for the RDC? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business. Discuss age-restricted housing project. You're going to elaborate on that, Chris?
Yeah, so Jason's going to be sharing a map here right now. The age-restricted housing project idea, I believe, was brought to the town sometime in the summer. The hashed area on the map, as Jason's outlining, is roughly the boundaries of the age-restricted housing development. The yellow, tan, and red areas are areas that need to be added into the TIF. At this time, legal descriptions are being created, so that way these areas can be added into TIF District 2, which is the 231 or second TIF district that the town has. Once those are added in, specifically the yellow area that is the majority of the age-restricted housing, they will be added in, and then the age-restricted housing program will kick in. For reference, age-restricted housing is 55 or older. The developer of that area has proposed this to the town. We have had Baker Tilly run some rough numbers for us, or as best they can. For a 25-year life TIF, the maximum amount we can collect is a little over $12 million for the 25 years that the TIF district would run. And then on the low end, because they did an analysis of several different stages in case assessed values drop, they predict $7.7 million over the 25-year life. We also have Phil Facenda on virtually, who's been helping us through this process to answer any questions. And Phil, you can chime in now if I've missed anything.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Redevelopment commissioners, I was only going to add to Chris's description the fact that procedurally there are the statute, the Indiana statute that allows for the collection of tax increment revenues for age-restricted housing, requires a couple of public meetings. This is one of those. There will be one next week as well, I believe next Wednesday, prior to the redevelopment commission meeting occurring that same night. And then you need to, procedurally, you need to adopt a declaratory resolution. It'd be an amending declaratory resolution because, as Chris mentioned, this area is already established, was established in 2014, and we're adding to it. So you have a four-step process. You adopt a declaratory resolution at the Redevelopment Commission's meeting. Then the Plan Commission entertains that and determines whether to approve that. And if they do, then they essentially create what's called their written order, and their written order comes back to the town council, and the town council then determines, I should say, comes to the town council, not back to the town council, but comes to the town council. Town council determines whether to okay that same action, and if that all happens, then there's a requirement in the statute that you give a newspaper notice of a public hearing before the Redevelopment Commission. And then you conduct a redevelopment commission meeting to confirm the actions that the redevelopment commission adopts at the end of this month if it so chooses. So that's your procedure. Happy to answer any other questions about the legal steps or otherwise.
So I'm sorry, Phil, if you could review again, what needs to be done before the end of the year?
So prior to the end of the year, there's a redevelopment commission meeting, I believe next Wednesday, a week from
Correct, yes.
now? Okay. So a declaratory resolution has to be adopted at that meeting. And the reason why we are doing so at the end, prior to the end of the year is there has been some existing development in the area that has not been assessed as of January 1, 2021, this year, the year we're in. And if you adopt that declaratory resolution at this point, you are likely to be able to capture anything that has not already been assessed for purposes of the age-restricted housing. Otherwise, you lose the opportunity because the base date for increment, that is the collection of additional revenues from the additional property taxes, would be January 1, 2022, or this coming January 1. So that declaratory resolution needs to be adopted next Wednesday. We will have to have a short public meeting prior to, because it's just
Right.
required by statute. We'll have to have a short public meeting prior to the redevelopment commission meeting, the formal redevelopment commission meeting under which you would adopt the declaratory resolution.
Okay.
Okay,
And is that all we need to get done before the end of the calendar year?
that's
Something has to
correct.
Go to the plan commission, right, you said?
No, it doesn't have to go to the plan commission before the end of the year.
Okay.
The only
That's-
thing that has to happen before the end of the year is the declaratory resolution gets adopted by the redevelopment commission.
Right, so that's why I asked, because you were talking about going to the plan commission, then back to the RD, so I just wanted
Yep.
to make sure what we needed to get done.
No,
If we wanted to do this,
apologize.
what we needed to get done by the end of the calendar year. Okay,
Didn't mean to confuse everybody, just wanted to sort of outline what has to happen from here. But yes, before the end of the calendar year, one step before the redevelopment commission, in addition to that second public hearing. But
Okay.
yes, okay.
questions from anyone here?
All he said basically was we would have to do the resolution next week.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
And the resolution just gives us the opportunity to either, further consider this,
Collect the taxes.
right? So
too.
if next year when we further consider we don't want to do it, it doesn't make us do it, right? This is not this doesn't commit us completely, correct?
No, it doesn't commit you.
Just allows us to have the option.
That's right.
And collect the taxes.
And collect the taxes.
Phil, this is Dave Westland. I'm correct that this isn't a done and final deal until the council, until it goes through the plan commission, then the council, then back to the redevelopment commission for the confirming resolution. At that point, there's no turning back if you.
Right, at that point, you've adopted your amendments and you do have your age restricted housing. Now, what you do with the funds is all for the future as well. I mean, but in order to establish the area, those are the steps, and you don't complete them until you have that second redevelopment commission meeting at some point, and we'll put together a calendar, but at some point in the new year, we would have the second redevelopment commission meeting
Yeah,
after
one-
going through, yes.
One thing, we're not bringing in age-restricted housing, it's already here. It's already been developed.
You mean the?
Correct.
These have
Correct.
been developed, so it's not something that we're bringing new, we're just we would change the way that we collect the taxes revenues on it.
Correct,
It's already been built.
Right.
or
well,
approved.
It's not,
Yeah, not completed.
some of
It's
it.
not, yeah.
They're not all
My-
completed, but it's a process, it's a project that's already been in motion. The houses are already been
Started,
built.
some, yeah.
And they are already restrictions to buy those pieces of property in this area.
That's my understanding as well.
It's partial, yes.
Yeah.
So Phil, there's some residential that's not in the crosshatched. Now, those aren't age restricted then? Is that how that works?
That was my understanding.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make
Yeah.
sure, because I know there's some other lots and stuff in there. So if they're not
Ex- exa-
crosshatched, they're not age restricted.
Right.
Okay. All right. Any other questions from the board?
I don't have any at this time.
I will just say that there is,
I was asking some questions.
No, you're the chair. He asked if there were more questions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, he's been long at night here, yeah. Anybody else have any questions?
I do just want to update that this, as I had mentioned in the beginning, there will be a slight revision to this map. This bottom cul-de-sac on the bottom left there will be some properties in that cul-de-sac that will also be included, that the developer, that will be age restricted, that the developer got back to us with.
Okay.
But by and large, this is 95% what it's going to look like, final product, if approved.
Well, the product is already there.
Correct.
We're just changing the tax format.
Correct.
Exact, to collect more taxes.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Motion to adjourn?
Yeah, we'll make motion to